Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on three. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. This will not fix my mood.
What fresh hell?
Laughing in the face of motherhood. You sound like a cat being tortured. With Margaret Abels
and Amy Wilson. No harm, no foul. See you in a couple years. A podcast that solves today's parenting dilemmas
so you don't have to. There is nothing less cool you can do in 2026 than be correctly dressed for the weather. Hello, everyone, and welcome to What Fresh Hell, Laughing in the Face of Motherhood. This is Margaret.
And this is Amy. This week, oops, our moms were right.
We hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
We hate it when that happens. I'm going to lay a little Mark Twain on you. How do you feel about that?
I find he's great, very good about that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good ones. Mark Twain once said, "When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could barely stand being around him. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much he had learned in 7 years."
I do think that, I don't have a hard time now engaging with my mom being right about anything, sure, but a life of wisdom. So maybe I've outgrown the idea that my mom wasn't right, but it's funny to go back and think about what did I resist at the time? That was definitely true.
I took this ride more than most, I think, and I have talked about it. My mother and I, when I was in high school, we were, as my children would say, ops. We were enemies. Everything she said was like, how have I been cursed to live with the stupidest woman on earth who is shallow, vain, and nonsensical? Like, she could say, let's grab this for dinner. And it was like, oh, you might as well have just stabbed me. Why would you say something so foolish and unwise? It grew to a point. I have told many of my friends this who are dealing with teenage daughters, and not everyone goes through this, but I find that people are quite comforted by this story because it's 100% true. I don't know many people who got along less well. I should say my mother was an incredibly awesome and decent person. She had grown up in like a 2-family house with 20 relatives and very much valued a clean, kind of suburban, beautiful home. She dressed really beautifully every day. She never owned a pair of jeans. She was elegant and a hard-won kind of elegance. And then as a teenager, I just saw her as like all she cares about is the shallow values of lame suburbia.
Right.
And it never occurred to me to ask, like, was there anything that went into that worldview? And in fact, my mom, she was a therapist. She spent her life helping other people solve their problems. She volunteered. She was a breast cancer survivor, although she would have never used those words. She had breast cancer. And she worked in Reach for Recovery, helping people who were facing breast cancer. She would meet with them at the hospital. She did all this volunteer. She was an awesome person, objectively. But to me, she was a person who only cared that I cut the top set of my sweatshirts. Like, that was her only personality to me. I didn't see anything else other than like, she is a shallow suburban monster Who cares if I cut the top off of my sweatshirts? And because of that, she is completely to be dismissed.
It makes me think of, we had Gabrielle Blair, who goes by Design Mom on the internet. She wrote a book called The Kids Are All Right. I think about the idea in that book all the time, just that we worry about our kids straying from the straight and narrow path. In the 21st century, there is no path. AI is coming. It doesn't matter if your kid takes a year off or decides not to go to college right now or does this. All of her kids were choosing alternate paths. And she was like, what path? What path? And I do think I would struggle with that for my own kids right now. Our mom struggled with that for us because there was a path back then. You didn't wear jeans. You dressed up for church and you did this. And there was a right way and a wrong way to do lots of little things that I think you and I, like we're struggling with hang up outfits. We were talking about like our kids don't know to bring a hang up outfit to grandma's house for Christmas.
I just went to the holidays and everyone was like, I only have a t-shirt and ripped sweatpants. And I'm like, Really? For Christmas, you didn't bring anything nice to wear?
Right. It's just another version of that. And you would have had hang-up outfits in the 80s and 90s. They just would have been perhaps with a collar that had been cut out by you.
I was always attracted to the wild side. Like I was always just fascinated by the fast lane. And I will say I never really ended up in the fast lane, but my mom clocked me pretty good. I was at 6th grade. Briefly, I had to leave eventually, and that will not be surprising after the story I'm about to tell. I was a 6th grade Catholic school girl. And I wrote a play for playwriting exercise. And I was so in love with this play. And it was a play about a young girl who during high school runs away to New York City to live with a boyfriend in like a cold, damp apartment. And then it was a jukebox musical, but the only songs were the songs from Annie, the musical. How I managed.
I see some licensing issues. Just
how I managed to shoehorn It's a Hard Knock Life. But I guess she and the boyfriend sang it together while they were. But that was like my greatest dream, was like run away from home and live in a wrecked apartment in New York City with a boy.
For like 5 minutes. Not a real hard knock life, just a like not super cushy knock life, like a little less than soft knock life.
And I turned this play in, and I believe the nuns called my parents and were like, literally, your kid wants to grow up to be like a junkie on the Lower East Side. Like literally what's wrong with
this was before
kid?
Rent. You were really onto something.
Oh, I was so ahead of my time.
Yeah.
If Rent had just featured the songs of Annie, they would have basically just stolen my play. And then my best friend was what we could call a troubled youth. She's still my best friend. We had her on the podcast, Nora Lally. She wrote a book. It all turned out fine for her. But she was running fast and loose, like tattoos, had a baby when we were 18. Like she was a wild child. And now that I look back, I'm like, oh, right. My mom saw me, who she knew wanted that edge, with a best friend who was living the edge. She was out on the edge. And she was concerned by it. And all I saw was like, you're judging me because you're so small-minded. And then I had a boyfriend who was, troubled and came from a troubled family. This was a little bit later. And it was a little bit like, is this the best choice? Oh, you're so shallow. It's not his fault that he grew up. And it's like, okay, I finally had to break up with him because like he was making some bad choices. I mean, she was right. But I think what I want to take away and leave people with from this episode is both sides of this are okay. My mother and I did not speak to each other for 1 year, basically, halfway through 11th into halfway through 12th grade.
Wow. So living under the same roof.
My father sat us down and said, you guys need to separate. Stop talking to each other. Stop interacting. Stay away from each other. One of the inciting incidents was that I announced as a junior in college. Again, my mother had come from a world where my grandfather ran a diner. They were going to college. College was like the most important thing in the world. And I announced with great confidence in my 11th grade year that I would be attending clown college and traveling with the circus. That was my dream. My mom wasn't great about that idea. And I actually did go and audition for clown college, and thank God didn't go, because you know someone who actually went to clown college. I do. Everybody I know who went said it was a total nightmare. Like you're basically like in a barn with animals that are very sad.
He made it through, but he didn't last. He lasted like 4 weeks on the road. Like once he was actually graduated and got to be in the circus. No.
I mean, my mom was right. Like clown college wasn't the right choice. But I think that it is okay to be the Mark Twain. It is okay to be the 14-year-old who thinks your parent is the most ignorant person alive. And I'm saying this out loud because I'm struggling with it right now. I have a very low tolerance for disrespect. And I find myself fighting every battle right now when I'm like, hey, go clean up because someone's coming over, and I get an eye roll. I have to be like, and don't be eye rolling with me. I could skip that step, but I just can't. And I'm my mother. That's why my mother and I fought so much.
The kid resists because the mother is telling the truth, and it's an uncomfortable truth. My teenager now does not like to dress appropriately for school. And I know, like, wow, whatever. But my kids walk to school because it's New York City. So it's like a mile and a half each way, 20s outside, and leaving with a denim jacket instead of a winter coat for reasons that are completely mysterious to me.
Oh, it's not mysterious. Amy, there is nothing less cool you can do in 2026
than have a winter coat on.
Then be correctly dressed for the weather. Like you might as well go nude.
Right.
If you're correctly dressed for the weather, don't even show your face in a middle school or high school.
I did a version of this too, but I wasn't walking a mile and a half. And so this kid is leaving with a denim jacket on in the 20s. I'm like, what are you doing? And I am fine. And I said, like, do you realize what the weather is? I know it's cold outside. You don't need to tell me. You don't have to tell me what the weather is outside. I'm like, I think I do.
Spicy.
It's really cold outside. There is no world in which that teenager, I guess that moment is going to be like, you're right. Thanks for reminding me of the fact that it's in the 20s and I'm making a bad choice. Instead, it's like, I'm going to double down and live with a bad choice that I know right now this is a bad choice, but you can't tell me nothing. Goodbye. Yeah, it's completely normal. And I hope maybe someday my teenager will have a podcast where they say, there was this day. Winter of 26.
I was so cold. If only I had listened.
Right.
I'm getting a lot right now of, I know. And I just, it lights me up. Like I am a bull and that is the red flag. And I really have to work on it. I say it talking about having OCD, that I tend to use my OCD as a thermometer for like how things are going. Like if I'm touching 27 things on the way from my room to the kitchen, that's a sign that my anxiety is a little out of control for some reason, and maybe I should look at that. Similarly, my reactivity to my kids is a very similar thermometer.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get morally neutral about it, trying not to be like, I'm a failure and a bad person. But, this weekend, my husband unexpectedly had to go out of town. I had 12 people coming over for like a big kind of dinner party thing that I was doing. And I was like, kids, I need help. And you're all sitting on your phones. And it was that kind of night. And then at some point I was like, the forks go on the left side of the plate. I know. And it's just like, it's the I know that contains multitudes. You idiot. Why were you ever born? You stupid moron. And then I'm like, don't talk to me that way. And now don't talk to me that way. And
we're fighting about how we're fighting. Right.
And I could just be like, okay, if you know them, put them on the right side, please. Thank you.
Right.
But there are times when I cannot, and that's morally neutral. It's just something to work on.
But you're totally right. So we're here to be like, you are right. And even if there's a delay, moms do tend to be right about a lot of the stuff that really matters.
Yes. But in the minute, I also think it's important to put on the other side of the scale. What is the consequence? Because I have had to do this. I have a child right now who wears a tank top and sweatshirt every day. It is 20 degrees out.
High of 20, people.
We're in the polar vortex. It's 20 degrees outside, high, low of 4. And this person walks out of my house in a tank top and oversized sweatpants.
So cool.
It is so cool. I mean, people, they part the path for the coolness.
And are they just going to the car and getting in the heated car?
That's part of it. Like we live in the suburbs. So like they're not walking 20 blocks, but I have dropped the rope on that fight. I'm like, okay, for whatever reason, being seen in a coat is humiliating in 2026 for people from the age of 8th grade to senior in high school and probably through college. That's not my fight. I'm out. If you're cold, you're cold. You're not going to die. You're going to be cold.
There's something about the presence of the parent, though. I'm thinking about another teenager I have in my life who just started in college and explained to me over the holidays that she just had to get her first winter coat because she never really needed a winter coat living in the suburbs and going from, car to hallway and back into the car. But now that she's on her own at college and she has to walk to class, all of a sudden a sensible winter coat does not seem like such a bad idea. So there is something about the reality of your living situation and also your parent not being around to give you the reaction that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing that might make it all of a sudden less interesting to not have a coat on.
Suddenly, not being cold is important.
Right.
I think watching those battles is important. All right, we went to our Facebook group. We got some answers from everybody about what their moms were right about, and we'll be right back with those.
Hellions, it's time for some spring cleaning, and I don't just mean the coat closets. Doing your financial spring cleaning can actually be super easy when you let Monarch do your financial spring cleaning for you. One dashboard that gets your entire financial life organized. No more clutter, no more mess, no more logins scattered everywhere, just accounts, investments, property, and more, all in one place. Get your first year of Monarch for half off, just $50 with promo code FRESH. Monarch allows you to look not only at what you've already spent, but also to plan for the future. With Monarch, you can set savings goals, plan for big purchases, and notice spending trends before they become a problem. I can generate cash flow reports that show me what we spent this quarter, this month, what we're probably going to spend next month, and feel prepared, organized, and knowing how to plan for the future. No more surprises and a lot more clarity. Try Monarch. Use code FRESH at monarch.com to get your first year half off at just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code FRESH.
At DSW, we ask the important questions, like, what shoes are you going to wear? Whether you're prepping for wedding season, festival season, or just planning the ultimate vacay, the right shoes can make or break an RSVP. So own the moment. You've got big plans, and we've got just the shoes. At the perfect price, of course. Get ready to get ready with Designer Shoe Warehouse. Head to your DSW store or DSW.com today and let us surprise you.
Amy, when I'm having a good hair day, it usually makes my whole day better. And that's why on every day, I'm taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand. And it's the #1 hair growth supplement brand personally used by dermatologists. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are peer-reviewed, NSF certified for sport, and clinically tested.
Nutrafol offers multiple formulas for men and women, tailored to different life stages and lifestyle factors, so you get support that's actually right for you. Adding Nutrafol to your daily routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed, with automated deliveries and free shipping to keep you on track.
Let your hair be one less thing to worry about. See visibly thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code LAUGHING.
That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LAUGHING.
Okay, we're back. Bethany says, and this is very similar to what I was just talking about. My mom was always right about which friends of mine could really be trusted. She didn't discourage me from being friends with anyone, but darn if she didn't have excellent intuition about who ended up not being great for me.
Oh my God, this is my mother with several of my boyfriends. And my mother was not a critical person, like, to the contrary. So if she said anything that was maybe not entirely positive, I would be in high dudgeon about that. But she was right.
I love your use of high dudgeon. It's such a great expression.
I had a boyfriend I brought home from college or came to visit over a break or whatever, and he just slept all the time. And he was sleeping in our, my family home. He was sleeping in my room. I, of course, was not. I was sleeping on the couch. Our guest was in my room. He was sleeping until like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, that's mad. I would be outraged.
And my mother was like, I just think that's a little strange to be doing in somebody else's house. And
it's rude.
It doesn't matter. Right. And now I'm like, yeah,
he's tired.
It's bonkers. It's bonkers. Right. And she was right to gently point it out, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so tricky because I do think as a reactive young person, my mom was so much smarter than I got. She and I fought like crazy, and our teenage years got a little out of control for both of us, and both of us would admit that. My mom died 8 years ago, so I forgot to say that the finale to my story is that once I left the house, my mom and I became incredibly, incredibly close. She was my #1 person in my life, probably my confidant, I just talked all my problems through with her. She was amazing. And we were besties basically for the rest of my life after I graduated from college. But she was I had one boyfriend who I liked the drama, I liked the crazy ride. And so I tended to be in like volatile relationships because I thought that was fun and exciting. And at one point she said about a guy I was dating, she said, "Oh, on again, off again is on again now?" And it's just like a little, and then she said to me, I was talking to her and I said, "Yeah, we're so in love and we're, but there's these issues, but this and that." I was talking it through with her and she was like, "Yeah, I mean, those are really hard things to decide. I guess what you just have to keep in mind is that today is the best day of your relationship ever. It's not ever going to get better than it is today." It truly was like a fall from the horse on the road to Damascus moment, which is a Catholic thing to say, but like a conversion experience. The minute she said it, I was like, this relationship is all when it gets better, I'm going to be happy. If today is the best day, I'm done. I can't do this. And it was just the right line at the right time. And it didn't say like, you have to get away from this person. It's bad for you. This is not going to make you happy. It's really hard to sit and watch your kids make bad choices that are bad choices and not intervene.
I have a story on the other side of this, which was I had a boyfriend in high school who was a perfectly nice guy, but I had gotten into school. I was going to go away to college. My thoughts were turning to, the horizon beyond my hometown. I was kind of done with him, and it was a slow end because we had dated through most of high school. And he was picking me up so we could go out and talk. And I came down to the kitchen with wet hair, just sort of like it was cone, but which wet. I mean, it's just, we're just going to go for a drive and talk. I don't need. And my mom was like, why haven't you dried your hair? Now, this is the 80s. Okay. So there would usually be for a date, which I wasn't considering this a date, I guess, much more preparation, right? And
Okay.
I came down with wet hair. And my mother, who I said almost never had a hard time with anything I said or did, was like, dry your hair before he gets here. Don't go with him with wet hair. I think she just felt so bad for him that my indifferent.
You were like, I don't even care enough to do the 80s updo for you.
Yeah, exactly. She felt so bad for this person that she intervened. I'm like, it doesn't matter. And I went out with wet hair and it didn't matter because we broke up. But anyway, I think in that case, it was like, you owe this person more than wet hair.
My mother always told a story about a guy, and it stuck with me so much that she had been out on a couple of dates. I mean, this was the 50s. They would go out on dates.
Yeah.
4 or 5 dates with a guy, and then he stopped calling her. And she called him, and she was like, if we're breaking up, you have to take me out and tell me that to my face. And he did. And they were breaking up. And she was like, thank you very much. And then she went home. But I was so impressed by that story. She just had a very strong core of, I will not be disrespected. And that's what got us in so much trouble. But I feel like in the end, that lesson really stayed with me. Now it's manifesting in my own problems with my own teenagers. But I think it has served me generally very well in life that I don't take a lot of nonsense from people. And it's like, my mom would not let someone ghost her. She called him and was like, if you want to break up with me, let's make a plan. And you can say that to my face.
Wow. Good for her.
She was a bad one.
Lisa has a good non-relationship related one. Lisa says her mother told her, don't get drawer pulls in a bar style because your clothes will constantly get stuck on them. I rolled my eyes when she told me this when I put them on all my cabinets 8 years ago. And every day since, my sleeves and jackets and sweaters and robes and shirts get stuck on these drawer pulls. And I'm reminded that my mother was right.
Oh, God, those are so funny, those ones. You just do it to spite them. And you're like, now I have spited myself. Spiting. I have spideyed myself for the rest of time. But you know what she's talking about? It's like the drawer pulls, rather than being like a rounded drawer pull, it's a bar that sticks out on either side.
Yeah, there's a little extra on the end.
Little extra on the end. Don't do it, guys.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, the desk I'm sitting at right now has these. So now that I know that things can get stuck on them, Lisa, for better or worse, I'm going to hate these drawer pulls as well.
My mother was always big on like, and I think this is right. And I have now come around to this as an older person. Buy a few good things versus a closet full of junk. This is my mom. That sweater's going to pill. That was her. And then the sweater would start pilling. I'd be like, it's mom's fault it's pilling. It's like, no, it's not her fault that it's pilling. It's your fault that you ignored her.
Tracy says that her mother was right about making a decision and moving forward. Once a decision is made, don't look back. Focus on solving the problem or achieving the goal. Don't waste energy on wondering what if or did I make the right decision, because it just slows down your progress and burns up mental bandwidth. Tracy says, in my teens, early 20s, this was very hard for me to do, and it drove me nuts when she would say it, but boy, was she ever right.
This is your advice. We talked about on an episode about best advice. One of the pieces of best advice that you were given was make the choice you made the right choice.
Yeah, make the decision. I was trying to decide as a young actor whether I should spend a second year doing like national touring stuff or like move to New York and,
go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was talking to an actor, a working actor, who was just always smoking a cigarette and sort of bitter. So not an uplifting personality, but he was like,
not making amazing choices.
Yeah. Maybe not making amazing choices himself, but was a working actor. And he said, you just make a decision and then you make that decision the right decision to have made.
That is really good advice, though, because I find my father has an expression, never judge a crossroads. Like, you don't know when anything happens to you that's good or bad. I will say some of this advice, very hard to hear at the moment. I remember kind of as my writing career was falling apart and the wheels were really falling off the wagon, I took 2 years out and I wrote a screenplay that I worked on for like 30 hours a week. I mean, it was a full-time job for me for 2 years. And I then submitted it to this kind of lab thing that I knew the people involved with. And I was like, this is the next step for me. And I was just so sure that this was going to be it. And then it didn't happen. I got rejected and then like nothing ever happened with it. And then a very similar movie came out pretty quickly. And like that whole project died. And I do look back at that as a crossroads that really changed my life for the better. In some ways led me to do the podcast. Like,
yeah,
but the day it happens is not when you're ready to hear. Like,
that's true.
Like if I could go back now, I honestly say if I could press a button and that screenplay got made, and I would not press that button. Like I would not actually do it. I couldn't have seen it at the time and I wasn't ready for the advice.
Right. Well, that was a decision that was made for you, but even so, you made that decision a good decision by going in another direction. It's funny, this podcast was that for me too. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do this instead.
Yeah.
Not because I thought it would be what it has turned out to be at all. It just seemed like it was time to lean into something new.
I mean, it's facile because then also together professionally and in other parts of my professional life, I've made decisions that I was like, oh, this will be good. And it turned out kind of disastrously. There's no guarantee that the path you take is the right path. It's just that you got to keep going and kind of try to make it the right path no matter what happens. Tiffany says that her mom's advice was that she shouldn't have married her first husband. So many parallels to my first marriage and my mom's first marriage. But when you're young and you assume I felt like mine was different. My mom saw all the signs. I learned a lot, but looking back, she totally saw the writing on the wall. Oh, this is such a hard one as a parent. I mean,
right. Think about the mom in this.
And I've seen it happen. I mean, it's what's her face? Harry and Meghan, right? Like that family was like, don't marry this actress lady for whatever crazy reasons they had. And they obviously just bombed the whole family by doing that. I know a lot of people who have been in marriages where the parents thought this is a really, really bad choice. And if you say something, it's going to go terribly. And if you don't say something, you're going to wonder if you should have said something. But love is a many splendored thing, but love is a tricky game. I don't know even what I would advise someone to do in this situation.
I'm thinking about the advice I have heard you give over the years that you get sort of 3 tough conversations with your in-laws. And then this is another one too. Like if you really think your kid is maybe about to marry the wrong person,
you can have that conversation maybe,
Once.
right? It's a weighty conversation, but right. If they do get married, then you don't get to be like, so sit down, let's have another sit down. I don't think you should rush into having kids. Like this is right. This is a break glass in case of emergency thing that you can't be casual about. And if you're the kind of person who disagrees with every decision they make, it's too late. You can't have this conversation.
Yeah. And I unfortunately think sometimes this can't be fixed,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just love is so hard because when you're feeling it and then you're feeling defensive, I mean, the conversation of like, okay, I'm dating this troubled guy. Everyone around me is like, that guy is trouble. And I'm like, no, he's troubled. And I am solving that problem.
Right.
And I am the one to fix it. It just, I don't know what to say. I will say my mom did a great job with that one line. This is the best day you'll ever have. Just remember that. Don't think of potential. Just say to yourself, if today was what it looks like forever, is that what you want in a partner? That was good advice.
Joss's mom, this is good advice. The first 5 years with little kids, Joss's mom said, will be the hardest on your marriage. Be kind to each other, work as a team, prioritize that primary relationship, and everyone will benefit. I like this advice, and I feel like I did it maybe a little differently, which is just like, no harm, no foul. See you in a couple of years. Our relationship is not the priority right now, and you're not a bad person, neither am I. We're just bailing water here.
I feel like my in-laws gave me this advice, and it was helpful that the primary relationship in the household is between the mother and the father, or the mother and the mother, or the father and the father. The primary relationship is between the parents, and that anything that gets in the way of that makes everything worse in the household. And I think sometimes we lose sight, and it's like, well, we have to be jerks to each other because the kids need us so much, and that reframing that the most important relationship, the thing that will affect your children's lives the most is the relationship between their parents. And just thinking about that framing, I think could be helpful, but easier said than done.
Yeah.
All right. We have even more answers to things our moms were right about when we get back.
All my kids learned to swim when they were little. It was super important to me that they be confident and safe in the water. There was only one problem with that, taking them to swim lessons. I mean, the pools were freezing. There were always cranky adults doing laps right there. And it was definitely not, for any of us, what you would call fun.
Amy, heard. But now there's Goldfish Swim School. Goldfish takes a really thoughtful approach to swim lessons, combining research-based teaching with a warm, kid-friendly environment that actually helps kids thrive in the water.
Every detail at Goldfish is thoughtfully designed to create a golden experience, from shiver-free, warm indoor pools to comfy waiting areas for parents to professionally trained lifeguards on deck.
Goldfish uses an approach called the science of swim play, which combines guided play with proven teaching techniques to help kids learn to swim, build water safety skills, and gain confidence, all at their own pace. Lessons are designed to meet kids exactly where they're at.
If you've been thinking about swim lessons or just wondering where to start, this is a great opportunity. Right now, Goldfish Swim School is offering a waived membership plus your child's first lesson free at participating locations.
Just visit goldfishswimschool.com/free to find a location near you and enroll using promo code FREE.
That's goldfishswimschool.com/free, promo code FREE. My favorite skincare products actually feel more like self-care, like they're so nice to put on and they smell so good that I'm actually happy when I get to that part of my day. And I swear that is how I feel about Osea's anti-aging body balm.
Amy, you are usually the lotions and potions queen on this podcast, but I have to say, hard agree.
Osea's anti-aging body balm is a liquid silk body balm that combines the lasting hydration of a lotion with the firming power of a serum, leaving skin smoother and firmer.
This body balm is clinically tested and designed to deliver visible results you can see and feel.
So we've gotten to use this product for a couple of months now, and I swear I have really noticed firmer and smoother skin, like on the back of my hands. It's like getting a mini spa treatment from head to toe.
Get a spring-worthy glow with clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now, we have a special discount just for our listeners.
Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code FRESH at OseaMalibu.com.
That's 10% off your first order with code FRESH at OSEAMalibu.com. And now, things you say in your 20s versus things you say in midlife.
From the What Fresh Hell podcast.
20s.
I drank too many shots of Goldschlager, and it is the worst decision I've ever made.
Midlife.
I drink a cup of coffee after 2 p.m., and it's the worst decision I've ever made.
20s.
I hope this boy likes me. I wonder how I could adapt every part of who I am.
Midlife.
I'm going to the grocery store in my pajamas. If folks don't like it, they don't like it. Too bad.
20s.
I have a headache. I should drink some water.
Midlife.
I have a headache. I've Googled headache. I will surely be dead within the year.
20s.
How can I get people to notice me?
Midlife.
How can I get literally everyone on earth never to speak to me again?
20s.
Oh, I hurt myself running that half marathon.
Midlife.
Oh, I hurt myself folding laundry.
This has been Things You Say in Your 20s versus Things You Say in Midlife.
From the What Fresh Hell podcast.
Michelle has a good one. She says maybe not the answer you're looking for, but she always knew which note I was playing wrong on the piano and how to fix it. She was a professional musician, and I have vivid memories of hearing her yell across the house, "It's a flat," which I grumbled and rolled my eyes and told her she couldn't know without looking at the music. Spoiler alert, it was indeed a flat.
Wow. That'd be hard to be learning to play the piano with a parent who's a professional musician.
For both.
This mom was probably like, I didn't yell half of the things I wanted to yell, but I had to yell when she was actually playing a wrong note.
Yeah, this is another tricky thing when you're the parent. I was determined that my life only had one outcome, Madonna Part 2. That was what I wanted to be, a pop star. I wanted to be...
Was this before or after the clown college idea?
This was before, during, and after. Clown college was a step on my way to becoming Madonna.
I mean, sure.
I would be on the world stage as a clown, and then I would be discovered. The only problem with my otherwise miraculous plan, I was funny. I could have thrived at clown college.
Sure.
I could have thrived as a clown. I could not sing a note. And I would constantly make my parents sit down and be like, let me sing this song for you. And my mother was so funny. I can picture her face. And she's like, have you thought about a song that has a little bit more patter in it? Patter being like, oh, I know you're getting married and someone's getting married. Like a song that basically isn't singing. And it was such a funny thing to say. Have you thought about a song with more patter? Like, you cannot hit any of these notes and you sound like a cat being tortured.
Patter is like, I am the very model of a modern major general.
Right. I could have nailed that song. That's right. That's exactly. It's basically talking. I was like, oh, no. This one is great for me. Memory. Like, I mean, and she was like, oh, geez. It can be tough. It can be a really tough thing.
Dina's mother was right when she said, eat something, you'll feel better.
I love this advice. My mother, when I would get hysterical, and my mother used to say, one thing about you, you'll never know the simple joy of an unexpressed emotion. Because it's true. I would be like, I'm great. I'm terrible. I'm angry. I mean, I was, all over the place. And she would always, when I would call with crazy nonsense that I was, mad about for the 400th time, she would always say, I think a bath. Go take a hot bath. That was her answer. You know what? It wasn't bad advice.
I was really cranky yesterday. It was a cold day. I'd been stuck inside. I looked at the weather and it was going to get worse still over the next couple of days. And I made myself go for a walk. I mean, no % of me wanted to go for a
You were
long
like
walk.
that eagle who,
Yes.
that eagle meme who's like, here I am taking my stupid walk for my stupid mental health.
Or like Bernie Sanders with the mittens on.
Yes.
Yeah, that was me. Like, this will not fix my mood, I thought. And I totally was different. I had a perfectly fine day when I got back.
Yeah, that sun on your
Eat,
face
walk,
does it
sun on your
every
face,
time.
or a bath. Yes, it's true.
Danielle says that she definitely did not need to wear tiny shorts, push-up bras, etc. in middle school. As a mom of a preteen, I understand now. Man, do I understand.
Yeah, I know. They rush it.
I mean, believe me, seen and heard. I struggle with this one too. I definitely do not like to police what young women wear. I think that they should be able to dress to express themselves. But I've landed kind of at spaces and places that if you're going out with like a bunch of girlfriends to a local place, to the diner for lunch, you can wear a bikini top and hot pants if you want to, because you're in town. It's fine. But when you're going to the mall, and it's not fair. I don't want to be like, you have to dress so that you don't attract male attention. But when a teen of mine is going to the mall in an outfit that is just so revealing. And the biggest problem, I think, is like it makes sometimes a 13-year-old look like a 21-year-old.
Right.
And it's just like you are going to attract problematic attention, which is not really your fault. And you kind of should be able to wear what you want, but you can't wear that bra to the mall.
Yeah. And the other spaces and places for me is like the homecoming dress thing. I don't know if you've gotten to that yet, but they're preposterous. They're just shirts. They're tops. They're wearing tops as dresses. It's so hard to hold your tongue and not say anything. But I do take heart in, okay, you're with 10 other girls who are also wearing shirts as dresses.
Yeah. I think if you're in a safe space, I think you should be able to wear whatever you want. With a group, expectations are there. But yes, I mean, and also for our point of view, I still go into a store and I'm like, look at how cute this is. And it's got like bows and like, you know, it's like a sailor suit kind of thing. I mean, it's not quite that bad, but you know what I mean? It's like adorable. Yeah. And then my teen is like in the Strippers R Us section with like a, you know, velvet thing that comes down to the belly button and up and blah, 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 blah. I did hear, I was looking at something last night and somebody was like, it was a Reddit thread and someone was like, should I wear this for a first date? And it was like a bikini top and a skirt with a very, very high slit. And somebody was like, cleavage, belly button, or slit, you have to choose one, not all three. I try to maybe go with that rule a little bit. Like choose one, maybe not all three at the same time.
I'm going to say we are totally right about this. And it doesn't mean we're going to get our way.
No. And I do think you have to, I don't want to give my daughters the idea that like, I only have one daughter, but I don't want to give our daughters the idea that like, you have to dress in baggy clothes because men can't control themselves. It's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one.
Heather says her mom was right about making lists. Used to make fun of her, lists everywhere, the counter, the bedroom, paper tape to the front door. Now as an adult, I realize I would remember absolutely nothing without making lists. They are on my phone, not handwritten, but still essential.
Oh, boy.
She's singing your song right here.
That's right. Write it down. Just put it down somewhere, and then you don't have to worry about remembering it in your head. Heather's mom is right about this.
Yeah. This is a good one, too. Mariana, I now have nieces and nephews who are going through job searches. She said, I finally learned through the years what my mom tried to teach me when I was looking for my very first job. Job searching or anything worth pursuing takes consistency. It's not enough to simply fill out an application and just expect an employer to reach out. You need to be annoying, call back, show them you're dedicated, show up, call, follow up. Try explaining that to my awkward, shy teenage self with phone anxiety. Oh, how far I've come. Thanks, Mom, for putting up with me through that one.
Oh my God, I am Mariana's mom, and I am in it. And it is so hard. Our kids are so dishabituated from making phone calls, especially to strangers, right? The following up. They don't read etiquette of things. And one of my kids just got looped in on an email for something they had applied to, got looped in by another adult who's trying to help them out. And the way this kid was reading it is like, so now the employer is supposed to reach out. I'm like, no, you were supposed to say, thanks so much for looping. It's like, I really had to script what was supposed to happen because it's like a Japanese tea ritual or something. Like my kid is just completely at sea as to what is going to happen next. And also because I'm suggesting it's a bad idea, whatever, but it is, yeah, I'm in it, Mariana.
Deep in it. All right. Are you ready for speed round?
Yeah, sure.
If it cries, hug it. I'm glad you love your husband, but keep your own money stashed away. Screw the PTA moms. Love is a choice. Initially, it's something wild and crazy, but then life happens. Day-to-day monotony. You got to choose to love the person still. And finally, and I should just have a button on my forehead that you can press that says this 400 times a day, wear sunscreen. Oh. These young girls come to I take them shopping. They want to go to, Sephora, Ulta, and buy lotions and potions. And I'm like, girls, here's what you need. First of all, you're 13 years old. Like, is your anti-aging stuff supposed to make you look 11? Like, what are we doing?
Right.
And I have told them, and I tell the checkout people, don't sell them stuff with acid and other stuff. They're not supposed to be using it. Sunscreen is the only beauty product you need at 13.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I am that person who comes home, just had, you can't see it because I put makeup on it, a big thing burned off my face right there, have a big scar right here on my arm where I had a cancer removed. And believe me, I come marching home and I'm like, you see this? You see this? Sunscreen. I'm a sunscreen maniac. It's really pleasant being one of my kids, as you can tell.
I wish that kids were okay with listening to other people's moms, although they kind of are.
They are more so, because the lady says it is more so than you say it.
Yeah, tell them that the lady said. I just read, and I wish that my mom had told me this. I'm going to be my own mom telling me this, and my kid, as far as skincare, if it goes on your face, it goes on your hands. Like that's how you keep the backs of your hands looking pretty good.
I miss that memo, guys.
Too late for me, but maybe some other people.
I mean, at least these girls are not sitting out with a giant. I wonder if they still sell these things. Do you think they still sell?
Yeah, like a science fair trifold.
Yeah, a science fair trifold with a cutout for your like chest, and you would hold it and reflect the sun directly onto your face, and then you would put baby oil on your face to get even more sun.
Mm-hmm.
So at least the kids are not doing that anymore, but still sunscreen, people. And this other one, I just saw a really funny tweet that said, I called my grandma with my husband on the phone to brag that I got a big job. And she was so excited on the phone. And then we hung up. And 5 minutes later, she called me back and was like, open your own bank account and start saving that money. And I think that a lot of moms and a lot of grandmas have been like, you know what? Love is great, but have your own bank account.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't do it, I have to say, but I love grandma who's like, oh my God, wonderful, honey. You two must be so happy. And then calls back and is like, don't tell your husband and open a secret bank account. Amazing. Amazing job, grandma.
I loved this one. We love getting suggestions from our listeners about what you want to hear us do episodes about next. We love that. And we often take your advice. There's a bunch of ways you can tell us. You can send us an email, info@whatfreshhellpodcast.com. You can DM us on Instagram. You can post it in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/whatfreshhellcast. You can leave us a comment on Spotify. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can reach us. Carrier pigeon, we'll listen to all of them. We love feedback from all of you.
Sit very quietly in a room and mentally send us the idea.
You could try.
You never know, guys.
You never
know.
Never know.
With that, thanks for responding. Thanks for listening. You can find the thread with all of these answers, including the ones we didn't get to, at our Facebook group. And we will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody.